About a week and a half ago, I did this story. There is an update to it. People tend to like it when I just go over the main points of the first post. So, this was posted in the relationship advice subreddit. She says, my husband staged an intervention after I told him I wanted a divorce. She says, I've been married to my husband for 6 years. It's my first serious relationship. I love him. He's funny, charming, and intelligent, and we share a lot. But he has always been a little hot headed. Some context first. A few months ago, a situation at work went badly and I fell into the burnout. I'm autistic and the burnout has made my executive dysfunction much worse. I've been on sick leave ever since. I have very little energy. Even basic things leave me exhausted. I sleep a lot, socialize very little, skip meals. I know it's bad, but I'm doing my best. My husband has been very frustrated that I'm not respecting his needs. We don't have sex, I don't cook every day, and the house isn't as tidy as he'd like. Multiple times I didn't take care of things while he was at work, so he yelled at me. Let's skip a little bit. She says, I tried to push myself to meet his needs and keep up with the house, but every time I quickly got too tired and had to stop. I tried to tell him, but he said he didn't want to hear it because he has enough on his plate. I never know if I'm going to make him angry. I have been crying almost every day, and I don't know if it's the burnout or if it's because I can't be there for him. I felt like it would be better for both of us to take a break. He refused and said that as his wife, it was my legal duty to be there in sickness and health. Forget that she's sick and this is causing her to melt down even more. 2 weeks ago, I finally told him I wanted a divorce. He had a meltdown and he yelled for hours saying I was just confused because of my mental health. He apologized later and said I shouldn't act irrational like that. I hesitated for a few days and I told him I still wanted to leave and he had another meltdown. Yesterday, I woke up and went downstairs to find my husband, his parents, and my parents all waiting for me. They said they were extremely worried that they never get news except from my husband. He reported to them that he was scared for me because I was isolating and harming myself. They told me it was okay to need help, that I needed stability. They said they were all there for me no matter what. I cried the entire time. I felt cornered, humiliated, and defensive. I felt like that was not normal, but now I don't know what to think. So now she's trying to figure out, does she stay? Does she leave? Does she go over to her parents? She's trying to figure things out. Let's go ahead and check the update. Let me just put this out there. The update is not a great update. She says, I decided to stay and get help first. I talked to my parents not long after the intervention to explain my perspective to them. They listened and said they were concerned, but asked me to wait and make sure that I was not being oversensitive and that all marriages had ups and downs. I'm seeing my past psychologist and my GP while waiting for the appointment with the psychiatrist my husband booked for me. My therapist recommended me to get away, even temporarily, or set firm boundaries. I annoyed my husband with that a few times, and he got angry and said I was being dramatic or that my therapist was not a marriage counselor and had no say. I contacted my parents and asked if I could come and stay for a few weeks. They asked if my husband agreed, and I said he didn't know, and they said maybe I should talk with him first. Her parents do not have her best interest in mind. Not long after, my husband called me and asked to stay home, and he came back and grabbed me and screamed and yelled, said I made him furious, disappointed, and very worried. He asked me how I could do that to him and why I went behind his back. And it was time I stopped playing the victim and that he did not recognize me anymore, that everyone was worried about my state. He set up this intervention to make her look bad and make her look crazy. He is about to do something very nefarious based on this. He is harming her and is going to do something to her and then blame her for it. That is what he is setting the scene for. This is a terrible situation. He told me he thought we trusted each other and that I needed to improve before he had to take measures to help me. I just felt sorry about what I did and for being too emotional again. I think I had an autistic meltdown, but I'm not sure. I don't remember everything. I apologized for my behavior and tried to initiate sex with him, but he pushed me away. I think he's okay now, but I know he's still hurt. I'm feeling guilty, horrible, and anxious. I can't stop pathetically crying. I don't know how to fix myself. I wish that appointment was sooner. How do I stop hurting him? She says, edit. Your replies are freaking me out. I am sorry. I don't think I can handle this right now. Nothing about this update is good. The way he has manipulated her to the point where she is apologizing and so confused is so bad. And so she already knows that she's autistic and she burnt out. And she's not being allowed to get any better because she doesn't have a support system. Her parents don't even support her. It sounds like the parents went behind her back and called her husband. And so now the husband is mad and yelling and doing all kind of things to make her burn out even worse. This is not going to be a safe situation to be in. That I mean, I don't know if he did more than grabbing her or whatnot, grabbing her and she's already melting down. If this is not DV, it's definitely emotional abuse, psychological abuse. This is, yeah, there are no, I don't have enough strong words to say how deplorable this situation is. Haley Casp says, ask your husband first is an incredibly asinine response that tells me your parents think your husband owns you and you do not have individual rights, acting like they no longer have the responsibility or desire to protect and shelter you as their daughter now that you're married. Men like that escalate. Today it's grabbing you. Tomorrow it'll be shaking. Next pushing you. And sooner or later it will be hitting. And he's setting her up. It like literally she could be, unalived in a bathtub and he blame it on her, saying she's been on a downward spiral for months. He's setting the scene so he could do what he wants. That's how I'm seeing it. Lim Fool says exactly this. OP's husband is not her dad, not her caretaker, not her owner, and definitely should not even be her partner. He is abusive emotionally and increasingly physically. He is controlling. OP, take back your power as an effing adult and just leave. The Baron at the bottom says, yeah, she's in this situation because of her parents and shouldn't see them as a safe option to turn to about this. Roa Heron says that this was my thing too. That makes me just stop reading in my tracks to reread the line multiple times, as I surely had misunderstood. Her parents asked if she cleared staying with them for a few weeks with her husband. That makes my damn brain collapse in on itself like a dying star. Calvin to my Hob says, agreed. OP, you really need to call a resource hotline for domestic abuse if your parents aren't willing to let you come home. Your husband does not own you. If you want to get away from him, they should be welcoming you with open arms and support. It sounds like he's manipulating them as well to believe something is wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. What you're feeling is your gut. Is your gut in panic telling you to leave because it's becoming unsafe? Even your therapist told you to leave. This to me is a huge sign that you are not safe. Please find a local shelter or call a domestic abuse hotline. Inform your GP and therapist about what is going on and your whereabouts. If your parents are unwilling to take you in, I would not tell them your location quite yet while you sort all of this out. And then finally, Investment Critical says, agreed, OP is in extreme danger now that her husband knows that she's asked to leave. He started the initial stages of violence. First was the yelling, now is the stages of hands on. The hands on will gradually progress. OP, is there a domestic abuse or violence resource or shelter available in your area? If your parents don't seem to grasp, I dare say, seem to be concerned, the gravity of your situation and how much your safety is in danger. You should not be apologizing. You have nothing to apologize for. You have done nothing wrong, and thank God he turned down sex, because that would have been a whole nother issue in itself. You may not realize how much danger you are in. However, it is imperative that you leave. You need not be apologizing. You need to be making plans to leave. What country are you in? That will help us at least maybe be able to get some advice for you that is country specific to get you help and out of your situation safely. Please know and understand that I do know that Reddit could be fake or fictional scenarios. I completely get that. But some woman is going through something similar like this right now. Please know and understand that this type of escalation does happen in real life. And if you see a little bit of yourself in something like this or somebody else in something like this, keep keep aware of the dangers, and escalate it to get some help. I know I cut off. I was saying like, comment, and share because other women need to know how some of these things escalate. All right, like I said, like, comment, share.